AITA for telling my parents they need to place their next kid for adoption. My parents have 4 kids already. Me 17M, my younger sister 13F, younger brother 12M, and youngest sister 10F. My parents have relied on me heavily to take care of my siblings. Started when I was still too young to do much, but they'd put them in my room if a nightmare happened. After each sibling was 6 months old, they started sharing a room with me until they were 3. Then it was getting me to prepare something to eat for my younger siblings. It was also staying home with them while mom went shopping, and over time it evolved. I help with homework. I make sure they're awake for school. I walk them to school since I don't have a car. I feed them, and most of the time, I'm the one they come to if they need help with something. My parents will drop them off at birthday parties or to friends' houses. They'll take us out for family experiences, but admittedly expect me to keep an eye on my siblings. My parents provide the food and house and clothes. I provide the emotional stuff. I don't love doing it, but I got so used to it that it became second nature. I'm still the person my youngest sister comes to if she has a nightmare or is afraid of anything during the night. My parents learned they were pregnant again in February. They told me and my siblings last month. It was very much talked about like I will have the baby with me. They said I should learn how to independently change diapers and stuff. I made it clear from the jump that I wasn't raising their next kid for them. I told them I had more responsibility to my 3 siblings than I should have ever had. But I wasn't going to skip my own life to raise an infant. My parents were shocked. They tried to get one of my younger siblings on board, but they said no way. They didn't want to be responsible like me. My parents returned to me with the topic and asked what the fuck they're meant to do, and they never expected me to reject a sibling like this. I said I reject child raising another one of their kids. Not a sibling, but also I'll be out of the house in 7 months. I won't be around the new sibling as much, and the relationship might not be the same. I told them I don't want the same relationship either. I don't want to be a parent to another sibling. They made it pretty clear they don't want to do the actual child raising, and they're living a nightmare over this. When the topic came up during the last week, I told them they need to place the baby for adoption since they won't have a good childhood with nobody wanting to raise them. I told my parents it would be the kindest thing to do if they refused to raise the baby themselves. My parents accused me of treating adoption flippantly, and they were sorta outraged. I would rather they place the baby for adoption than for me to step up and raise this one too. AITA. They were sorta outraged. I would rather they place the baby for adoption than for me to step up and raise this one too. The complete lack of self-awareness and accountability they need to think this, let alone say it, is up. Plan for your escape now. NTA. The house look for your important documents, birth certificate, social security card, stuff like that, so they can't keep it from you as a way of punishing you for not being their live-in nanny anymore. See if you can move in with a relative. AITA. I don't know where you're located, but if you are in the USA, call CPS and get them involved. Get your hands on any important documents, birth certificate, and hide it. Get a license or a non-driver ID. I would get a job if you can and start saving. Figure out how much money you need to rent near you. Get references lined up from Look Up. Absolutely NTA. Your plan to escape, and be prepared for them to do all they can to emotionally blackmail you, including using the other siblings to put pressure on you. NTA. Funny how they think you're being flippant about adoption, but they're popping out kids like it's going out of fashion. Good for you for standing up for yourself. AITA. I'm so mad on your behalf. They're so irresponsible and selfish. Do you have a trusted adult you can talk to about this? A teacher, coach, or school counselor? I see lots of folks telling you to get out of there, but that's not easy to do when you are financially dependent on your parents. My parents returned to me with the topic and asked what the fuck they're meant to do, and they never expected me to reject a sibling like this. Tell them you never expected them to reject the 3 kids they had after you. Yet here we are. Because that's what they're doing. They want the fun part of parenting, but none of the responsibilities. They absolutely shouldn't be having more kids. If they refuse to raise a child, then yeah. Let someone who actually wants to be a parent raise that child. If they decide to keep the kid, ensure you contact someone on your way out and have them check in on the family to ensure they aren't passing the torch to your siblings to parentify them next. Inform of everything you went through, and then go live your life finally. NTA. Geez, that's parents who should be sterilized right there. If they put the baby in your room, wheel the bassinet crib back into their room or the hole outside their door. Wear earplugs, don't get up. Starting now, stop doing anything for their kids. Talk to your siblings that as of now, if they need anything, they go to their parents. If they don't do anything, get a hold of CPS if they are neglected. Oh hell, nitrogen monoxide. If you want to raise more kids, you can go create your own. I'm hoping you don't do that for maybe 20 years. I see so many stories like this. So, graduate high school with a good GPA. Apply for every grant, scholarship, stipend you can find for the hell out of there ASAP and cut contact with your parents. NTA to infinity. Flippantly very much talked about like I will have the baby with me in my room. For the you flippantly said no and gave them an alternative. You were much younger than your siblings when they parentified you, so no doubt they will pass the baby on to one of the other three. Question: who raised you when you were little? Did this start when you were out and live a good life? Although, you might end up rescuing the older three in the near future. Until you do the right thing, live your life. You were burdened with too much too early in your life, caring for your siblings. But now it is your turn to enjoy your freedom and build a professional career and have a good life. You deserve it. All the best to you. Is low contact as soon as possible and gray rock them on your life. Until our 17 years focus needs to be getting out of that house on your 18th. The 2 jobs, whatever you need to do, just go. Anti-abortion. The magical word is abortion. NTA. I feel bad for your 13-year-old sister. You know she is next in line for this parentification stuff. Your parents are crazy good for you for standing up for yourself. A sibling, yes, not a support your current sibling, as the parents no doubt will pressure them into taking care of their kid. NTA. If they don't want to do adoption or abortion, they need to hire a full-time nanny. I hope your 13-year-old sister knows she's going to get the baby dumped on her whether or not she wants it. How far along is mom? She should have an abortion. NTA. Your parents can get themselves sterilized to prevent another accidental pregnancy. You're not pregnant or getting anyone else pregnant, and raising their child is not your responsibility. If they didn't want to raise children, they should have been more cautious. I raised my younger sisters too. It really put a strain on our relationship and fucked me up for a long time. I think you're really brave for standing up for yourself at such a young age, and you'll have a good future ahead. My only comment is don't let this destroy your relationship with your siblings. They didn't ask for this situation any more than you did, and when you get older and farther from your parents, you'll be able to reestablish a relationship that is healthier. Also, once you're gone, look into therapy. Emotional abuse and neglect aren't always talked about but can be just as damaging as physical abuse. NTA. They parentified you, and they're trying to do it again. If they don't want to raise their new child, they need a backup plan. That plan ain't you. It's good on you for telling them no, and definitely get out soon as you can. Your other siblings are old enough to feed themselves and run the washing machine. Your parents are in for a rude shock it seems, but your suggestion was actually the only viable one at this point. Oh my god, NTA, your parents are insane and abusive. I hope you are already planning your escape. Get your SS card, birth certificate, etc. together and hidden. Lock down your credit and make sure your savings are where they can't get them. Your parents are pretty wretched people. It's so easy to keep having kids when they're not the ones raising them. NTA. Good for you for standing your ground. They will probably have the younger children to take care of the baby. They will make them do it. The children will have no choice. Until make sure to watch your bank account. They may try to sabotage you to have to stay. NTA. Your parents' irresponsibility is not your problem. Have they ever heard of birth control? The reason they are so careless is because they figured you will be taking care of this baby. Start making your escape quietly. Get your birth certificate and SS card and put them in a safe place you only know of. Save any money you can. I would even have a backpack in case you have to make a really quick escape. Do they know you are planning on leaving in 7 months? Something tells me they are really going to be against that because they will actually have to step up and be parents get out of their op. This is abusive. My parents returned to me with the topic and asked what the fuck they're meant to do, and they never expected me to reject a sibling like this. They can sign up for a parenting class and learn to do it themselves if they are so desperate for direction. It isn't your responsibility to teach. Hope your get out plan works out for you, op. Essentially used you as an unpaid babysitter. Yes, they provided everything you all needed to survive. But from the look of things, it feels like they didn't want children at all and expected you, the eldest, to raise them for them. They paid such little attention to you and your siblings that they failed to notice that you won't be around forever to be the auxiliary parent and that your siblings wouldn't make a good replacement. Live Your Life throws a wrench into their plans because they decided to have kids and not put effort into parenting from the very beginning. Then they never had children with intent to raise a family. They're merely breeding. Thanks for watching.